Children love playing outside. However, parents should stay vigilant, as predators and criminals are always lurking in the shadows.
Real quick items, the reward money is now up to $26,000 for any information that leads to the whereabouts of Sandra.
The coroner first saw Cantu's body inside the suitcase retrieved from an irrigation pond.
Sandra Cantu's body was found inside a black suitcase that was located at the irrigation pond by farm workers this morning off of Machete Road.
Is it safe enough to let your children play, even if it's in your own yard? This story will make you remember to turn your head every time you lose sight of your young ones. Today, on Crime Diaries, we head to the California town of Tracy to explore the case of Sandra Cantu. Sandra Renee Cantu, 8 years old, was born on March 8, 2001, in the small California town of Tracy. She was in the 2nd grade at Jacobson Elementary School and was a friendly and social girl who loved playing in her friends' houses. Sandra was such a sweetheart. She was characterized as being sweet and welcoming to everyone, including strangers. On March 27, 2009, Sandra played at different friends' houses just like she does daily. However, that day, she did not return home around the time she usually does. Her parents got more and more worried as the day got darker, yet Sandra was still nowhere to be found. At 7:53 p.m., her family called the local police, and Sandra was declared missing. After a day had passed since Sandra vanished, Tracy police went around looking for any surveillance footage close to the family's home to see if they had captured any footage. The community emergency response team, firefighters, police dogs, all-terrain vehicles, and a helicopter from the California Highway Patrol were brought in to help with the search for Sandra on the weekend of March 28th through March 29th. The police offered a $22,000 reward for anyone with information that could lead to solving the case. After an intense search through the weekend, they were unable to find anything, so the police called the FBI for assistance on the case. At the end of the day, a candlelight vigil was held to thank and boost the morale of everyone who helped with the search. It was at that vigil that the police found the first lead for the case. Melissa Huckabee, a 28-year-old Sunday school teacher who also lived in the Orchard Estates mobile home park, stormed in the middle of the vigil, crying and hyperventilating. She claimed to have found a misspelled letter from a witness that reads, "Cantu locked in stolen suitcase. Thrown in water on Machete Road and Whitehall Road. Witness." Initially, the police hesitated to believe the letter due to the fact that the neighbors knew Melissa as an attention seeker. She had a history of mental health problems, including borderline personality disorder, bipolar disorder, and schizophrenia. Prior to the discovery of the body, she was not a prime suspect. Melissa also claimed that her $200 suitcase was stolen on the day of Sandra's disappearance, implying that the thief might be the same person who perhaps kidnapped Sandra. In her interviews, Melissa's behavior sounded like she was trying to get attention rather than being suspicious. On April 6, 2009, a farm worker named Jose Luis Franco found a black suitcase while performing routine irrigation pond draining. When he got close to it, he knew he needed to call 911. The police discovered what they had hoped would not be true: Sandra Cantu's remains inside the suitcase. Sandra was severely beaten and sexually assaulted before she was smothered with isopropyl alcohol, according to the autopsy. After Sandra's body was found in the same suitcase that was stolen from Melissa, the police took a closer look at the coincidences. Her suitcase got stolen on the day Sandra went missing. She was the person who found the witness's letter, and the victim's body was found in her lost suitcase. The police reviewed more footage from a bigger radius around the vicinity of the small town. To their surprise, Melissa's car was spotted near the irrigation area where Sandra's body was found. During the same time span when Sandra's whereabouts became unknown, Melissa was seen driving in the direction of Sandra's house, then to the path of Melissa's own house, and lastly to the road to the irrigation. This CCTV footage convinced the police that Melissa was indeed involved in Sandra's murder. Tracy police searched Melissa's car and house, but they found nothing. They didn't stop there and kept looking around the vicinity, even though the battle was losing. They ended up searching the church where Melissa teaches. During their investigation, they found a rolling pin in the church's kitchen that had been reported to have a bent handle and bloody smudge on it. The police found the specimen to match Sandra's DNA. Melissa's anti-anxiety medication was also found in Sandra's system. The police decided to confront Melissa about the pieces of evidence they found. They told her that a couple saw her SUV on the irrigation on the day of Sandra's vanishing. At that time, the police haven't even mentioned the blood specimen found at the church yet, but Melissa already started breaking down, crying, and confessed to the crime. On the evening of April 10, 2009, the same day that Melissa gave the interview to the local news, she was detained and charged with the murder of Sandra Cantu. Melissa claimed she had no idea why she did it. She said, "I still cannot understand why I did what I did. This is a question I will struggle with for the rest of my life." She also claimed that it was an accident. She was playing hide and seek with Sandra and her daughter, but she forgot that she helped Sandra hide inside her suitcase. She said that when she finally remembered, it was too late. She unzipped the case, and Sandra appeared to be dead. She tried to perform CPR and used a small towel to cool her off. This story was proven to be a lie by the experts, since it was discovered that she drugged Sandra and sexually abused her before smothering her and throwing her dead body into the irrigation pond. There was no trial. Instead, in May 2009, Melissa pleaded guilty to first-degree murder and kidnapping, in exchange for avoiding the death penalty. She was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. A new playground and tree were named after Sandra at the elementary school she attended as a way to remember her. Her cousin Janet Anderson started an annual event on Sandra's birthday called Tracy Celebrates Children, and many neighborhood kids volunteered to help cater for the event. The people of Tracy were completely shocked by the murder. Over 4,500 people have gathered for Sandra's memorial. Even though the case was solved and the murderer was set to be behind bars for the rest of her life, it still doesn't bring back Sandra's life. Her loved ones will forever miss her jolly and friendly nature. May Sandra Renee Cantu rest in peace. What are your thoughts about the case of Sandra Cantu? Tell us in the comments section. Also, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to get the latest updates. This has been Crime Diaries, and until next time, don't be another statistic.